Great. Thank you, Mr. President. My goal as the chair of the Innovation, Technology, and General Services Committee is to really bring Los Angeles into the 21st century, to just leapfrog over the 20th century and as far as technology goes, move us forward to create better access, transparency, and efficiency. In order for Los Angeles to remain competitive, we must make critical investments, not just in our physical infrastructure, but in our virtual infrastructure. To that end, the proposal that's before us is about bringing free broadband municipal high-speed access to Los Angeles, to all of Los Angeles. And there are many reasons to do this, many reasons. One is, of course, helping bridge the digital divide. Another is generating economic activity and making our city even more friendly for tourism and bringing people here so that they can have all the comforts of internet access that provide a magnet for people to come visit, but also a magnet for people to invest their dollars to be in a city that's cutting edge like that. Also, we want to be able to bridge the digital divide, offer folks children to be able to work on those LAUSD iPads or other devices from their homes. It's great if they get iPads, but we want to make sure that they're able to have that access to the internet wherever they are. So working with the mayor and the ITA on we're doing a number of other things to move us forward in terms of access. We're putting the 311 system on steroids. We're doing a lot of stuff. But the purpose of today is to talk about this Wi-Fi initiative because we're directing ITA to issue the RFP. The RFP is very important. It's a critical step. It's a milestone for us in this process. And with that, I want to bring Steve Reneker to the table, and I also wanted to ask the President, I know I've got some folks from neighborhood councils who've come, if we could open it up for public comment.
You want to do that now, or you want to do it after we talk?
Whatever your pleasure.
Let's get it out of the way now.
Okay.
Good to see you. We're going to go to the public comment cards. Kevin Taylor. Kevin, are you here? Please come forward. Sean Murphy. Sean. Donna Pearman. And then you guys will be followed by Mr. Herman. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President, honorable council members. I'm the chairman of the Reseda Neighborhood Council. My name's Kevin Taylor. Several weeks ago, we took up this issue for Councilmember Blumenfield's initiative for citywide broadband access, and we had a spirited discussion. We had dozens, I'd say, of stakeholders there, as well as our board. We did take a position to support this. I would like to read the motion. The Reseda Neighborhood Council expresses support for Councilmember Bob Blumenfield's initiative, commonly known as Citywide Municipal Wi-Fi Initiative, to bring free broadband access to all parts of the city of Los Angeles. Additional support for effort to create fiber infrastructure for broadband access for every home and business in Los Angeles. While the exact parameters are currently in a research phase and the exact shape of the initiative is yet to be determined, Reseda Neighborhood Council supports Councilmember Blumenfield's proposition in principle to bring this game-changing effort to Los Angeles to match other world-class cities and bridge the digital divide, increasing economic development, retain and attract business, and to enhance visitors' experience while in Los Angeles. So thank you, Councilmember Blumenfield, for bringing this forward. Just wanted to express our support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Murphy.
Good morning. What we have in front of you today is really a collaborative effort that came in from multiple city council motions over the years, but with the leadership of Councilman Bob Blumenfield, what we've done is structured an RFP that is going to consider running fiber to every home, business, government entity in the city of Los Angeles, and also as an overlay to that, provide a ubiquitous wireless coverage for all of our citizens. Now, in order to entice vendors to be able to respond and also be able to provide a certain portion of this free for all of our citizens, our Angelinos, and visitors that are coming to Los Angeles, and by the way, the speeds of that we're talking about is somewhere between 2 and 5 meg, because we're respecting the fact that many of the carriers have spent millions of dollars of infrastructure in our city, and we don't want to try to create some level of competitive nature associated with those investments. So with this RFP, in order to entice somebody to go ahead and do this significant amount of build-out, which is estimated somewhere between $3 and $5 billion, is the city of LA, the non-proprietaries, are taking a look at those expenditures that we have already budgeted for, that we're already spending today, and allocating those to a dedicated vendor over a 10-year period of time. So some of those services are things like managing our fiber network that is non-LADWP. Some of those might be our sales expenditures. Some of those might be some managed services for other things that we do. So that, in essence, is the spirit of the RFP. Under the leadership of Councilman Blumenfield, we look forward to providing that draft back to the ITGS for consideration.
Mr. Englander.
Great, thank you very much. I want to thank Bob for bringing this forward. And while the report says that there are a lot of logistics and financial costs and it's complicated, we cannot lose sight of this. In fact, this is probably one of the most important things we could ever do. And why is that? We talk about the most important things in the city of LA being public safety and our infrastructure. Our cyber infrastructure is so important. You think about the world population, 7 billion people. There's only 2 to 3 billion people online right now that have access to the internet. So we have roughly 4 to 5 billion people in the world that have no internet access at all. We've got to change that here in Los Angeles and get everybody online for so many reasons. If you look at what the innovations are happening right now online with things like Khan Academy, which if those of you who haven't seen it, there was a segment on television about it. There's an individual who came out with training and tutoring and mentoring and teaching people of all backgrounds, of all social classes, free education, a world-class education available for everyone in real time, all the time. My kids use that online. They get training and tutoring and do research. If you think about all the kids, the children that are struggling throughout the city of Los Angeles right now because they don't have money for tutoring. Their parents perhaps don't speak English and can't help them and struggle through their homework. They have a disadvantage. If we can get them online and get everyone online to teach skills and tutoring and training, to provide commerce, to provide that opportunity, it is a privilege. It's a right. It's no longer a privilege to have internet access. And so we have to think big. This is a world-class city. We've got to look at opportunities, perhaps public-private partnerships and strategic opportunities, things we did, for example, at LA World Airports, where we put them online and brought in free Wi-Fi access, created a partnership to allow advertisers or to allow other vendors to take the opportunity to make money by providing it for free. But we've got to create a way to do it. Google's doing it, where they're putting up balloons now in the hemisphere to float them over countries, third world countries that have no internet access at all, because they look at that as a global world changer to provide education and opportunity for those that don't have access. I think we all need to get behind this. It's critically important that we level the playing field and provide this access for everyone in real time, everywhere, and be a true leader in this country. So thank you very much, and I appreciate Bob Blumenfield's leadership in this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krekorian.
Build out of fiber, which he just said.
It does. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I also want to echo Mr. Englander's congratulations of Mr. Blumenfield's leadership. I know when I worked as a colleague of Mr. Blumenfield in the State Assembly, he was a leader on technology issues there, and I know that he's going to make a significant contribution in finally advancing the ball forward for this city and in bringing us into the 21st century. So, Mr. Blumenfield, thank you. I appreciate the clarification that you just offered regarding the scope of the RFP, including the potential for a wide build-out of fiber optic infrastructure throughout the city, as well as one possible means for bridging the digital divide and providing high-speed access more broadly to all residents and all businesses. And Mr. Englander spoke eloquently, I think, about the public safety benefits and also the personal and educational benefits that there are in helping to provide our residents with that access and helping to bridge that digital divide, which is going to be the defining issue in social and economic advancement and the development of the middle class in the United States for the foreseeable future. But there's another aspect of this that I think is as important as well, and that's the economic development benefit for the business community. You know, we have talked extensively about many different proposals to attract new businesses to Los Angeles, reforming the business tax, and many other things. Just this last weekend, I talked to a major real estate professional who had just brought a new significant internet business to one of our neighboring cities. And I asked him, what were the elements that went into that siting decision that that business made? What were the essential elements that made that business decide to settle in our neighboring city rather than here? And they were two: the availability of contiguous office space, but more importantly, the ready availability of dark fiber capacity that would allow them to have ultra high speed access to the internet. And I said, where did the business tax figure in this? He said, as long as we have our dark fiber, it's not an issue. So the point being that if we want to be a 21st century with a 21st century economy, we have to deal with our infrastructure and make sure that we have a 21st century communications infrastructure. So I'm very proud to support Mr. Blumenfield's efforts in this regard. The one I don't know if it's even necessary to offer this as an amendment or if it's already included within the spirit of this. But Mr. Blumenfield, the other aspect of this that I would suggest is that ITA be asked to work with our new economic development department as they're developing their economic strategy, and as we engage the new nonprofit and the department in developing our economic strategy, our jobs development strategy. This is a critical component, I think, of that future strategy. And so I would ask that that the two agencies work in collaboration, and perhaps we can have a report back on the economic development and jobs creation benefits that will be derived from this as well. And then hopefully an action plan once that economic strategy is further refined, when the department is up and running, when the nonprofit is up and running, and that strategy is in place. I'd like to see this information backbone to be an essential element.
Mr. Blumenfield, to close.
Yeah, well, it is. The vision for this is to have ubiquitous throughout Los Angeles, so that you're covering all of the parks, you're covering all the libraries, but you're not stopping there. You have a portable broadband access that's going to get you, if you live out in the mountains, you'll get coverage somehow. It may be a slightly different, maybe 4G if you're in a really tough area, maybe fiber to the home in other areas, and around the libraries they'll have high-speed access. Absolutely. But what's unique about this proposal is it's not just based on starting at the library and starting here. It is a grand vision for how do we really move Los Angeles into the 21st century and have ubiquitous access. And by partnering with the private sector, there are ways to do this that may not cost the taxpayer any money. We have a lot of assets that we can leverage as a city, and that with the right partnerships, we can do this in a way, and there's many different ways to do this. And one of the things I really respect about Mr. Reneker and the way he's putting this together is it's not being put together in a prescriptive manner, saying, bring us your proposals that do X, Y, and Z to get us Wi-Fi. It's not. It's a proposal that's out there that's saying, let 1,000 flowers bloom. Maybe that's the wrong analogy, but it's saying, bring us your innovation. Look at the city's assets. No deal is too small. We want to look at a big vision. We want to partner with the private sector in ways so that we can expand our reach, do much more than we could if we just tried to do this alone. And so this proposal is out there, and I guess on the mic and in public, I want to encourage anyone who's thinking of bidding for this RFP as soon as it does get out there to really think about it and to put out their flag, to put out a bid, to partner with other companies, to partner with the city, to start talking to Mr. Reneker, the ITA agency, about all of the unique possibilities, ways that you might not have thought about. Think about our light posts as the city as an asset that we can leverage. Think about all of the buildings that we have where we can leverage in terms of having access to those sites to help promote. Think about that there can be premium products that piggyback onto the basic product. There can be all sorts of we're limited only by our imagination. And I know that LA has a lot of imaginative companies and people out there, and that's why I'm excited about this proposal and about the way that ITA is going about it. So I urge your vote for this proposal to help move this RFP forward. I know there'll be a lot of hurdles that we're going to need to cross once this moves forward, because we really are charting a new grounds, but we have a great ITA general manager and agency that's going to help us move through that, and we've had a lot of folks who've expressed interest. So I urge your aye vote, and I thank Mr. Reneker for bringing it forward.
Let's prepare to vote on this item, members. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
It's adopted as amended.
Forthwith.